together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And we're here. Yay. We made it. We made it. All right. Yes, I slept. I did. A lot. A lot. I need it. All right. There's some people I let know that I'm going live because they don't get it's just situational. But there are people that have been listening to me for a while, and they're right back there, and they're like, okay, but don't let me forget to start dinner. I keep this in the Trudging Together family. If you're not familiar with the Trudging Together family, it's Trudging Together Facebook. It's Trudging Together Dragonflower Recovery, which has a lot of ACA and Al-Anon, along with AA, and then we have Overeaters Anonymous, Raw Recovery Edition, something like that. But it's all part of the family. So yeah, I think everybody is, Amber. Somebody needed a phone call from me, so I'm not going to make this too awfully long because, and Ingrid, thank you for that message. Ingrid writes back. She's like, don't let me forget to make dinner. I don't know if you want to rely on my mind. We're going to be in the big book, page 139. 139. I just had a pretty good. I always like, I'm just so proud of my sponsees. They've come so far. They did a lot of hard work, man. So that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, this stuff is not easy. So we're going to be in Two Employers. Woohoo! Which is understanding the malady, right? 139. I'm just dealing with an alcoholic. There may be a natural note that man is so weak, stupid, and here. Okay, got it. All right. I like that they include this stuff. So, yeah. Ugh. I'm still trying to wake up a little bit. So, I'm going to start on 139, but the first paragraph is like the ending of a story. So I'm just going to go the second paragraph down. If you desire to help, it might be well to disregard your own drinking or lack of it. Whether you are a hard drinker, a moderate drinker, or a teetotaler, you may have some pretty strong opinions, perhaps prejudice. I was talking with a sponsee, right? And they were telling me, he's like, yeah, we went because he's been, hi, Michelle. Good. Yay, busy days and fruitful, successful days. Good for you. I slept because I stayed up till midnight last night, hoping I would sleep until 9, and I woke up even earlier at 5:17. So, yeah. So I took a nap. It was one of those naps where it was just like, I'm not getting up until my eyes don't hurt anymore. And that wasn't until 1:16. It is 3:33, and there are 3 people here. It's not a coincidence. There's our 3s and 4s again. All right. Somebody said they appreciate me describing. Okay. So let's get to it instead of my kind of screwing around because people need to get to dinner and pick people up. So let me get to this. And I'll save my screwing around towards the end, but this won't be longer than probably 20 minutes. Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than a total abstainer would be. It depends. Drinking occasionally and understanding your reactions, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things so far as the alcoholic is concerned are not always so. So I was telling you about a sponsee, and this is their first Christmas. And, so they went to the function, and what they told me was, I didn't drink, and that was okay. That part didn't. He's like, but what I noticed is I went and I kind of hung out with the higher ups, and they weren't drinking either. I'm like, yeah, it's not surprising. I said those parties are for the employees to keep them happy. That's why it's an open bar, but they don't join in that because you know, just like major drug dealers, they don't do drugs. No. So, all right. But I just thought that was a neat story to add in here since we were talking about him to employers. As a whenever you want. Oh, as a moderate drink, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things. Okay, I'm just going to go back a little bit. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reaction. It is possible for you to become quite sure of many things, so far as an alcoholic is concerned, are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it alone. Whenever you want to, you control your drinking. Of an evening, you can go on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go to business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be to anyone else save the spineless and the stupid. Yeah, there you go. That's a good point, Ingrid. Yeah, they can't afford to act. Yeah, that's exactly it. They have a certain reputation to keep. Yeah, and that's important to them, right? When dealing with an alcoholic, there may be a natural annoyance that a man could be so weak, stupid, and irresponsible. Even when you understand the malady better, you may feel this feeling rising. Now, why do we know that? Because I go through it. Sometimes it annoys me. You bet. Then I remember, oh, Dion, that's you. That's why it annoys you. So different reasons, but still the same emotions. A look at an alcoholic in your organization is many times illuminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast thinking, imaginative, and likable? When sober, does he not work hard and have a knack of getting things done? If he had these qualities and did not drink, would he be worth retaining? Should he have the same consideration as other ailing employees? Is he worth salvaging? If your decision is yes, whether reason be humanitarian or business or both, then the following suggestions may be helpful. I have not been using the daily reflections very often, but now twice in a row I've gotten kind of the same thing. So here's the thing. When an employer goes out of their way to take time for another person, they're holding space again, right? And that brings a certain kind of justice, and it helps us out. Hey, you're worth salvaging. Reminds me of a story. So I was selling cell phones, and I won for the month at Aurora Mall. I was the top salesperson in Colorado, and I worked at the shittiest mall. So I went, and I'd asked this girl to go with me because we were going to the bar or whatever, and we started dating and stuff, and she was beautiful. I had a great family, and at one point I asked her, I said, and I was living with, I was like, I don't remember how old I was, but I didn't have my own place. I barely had a car, and it wasn't legal to drive, and my life was a fucking wreck. And make enough money to satisfy I couldn't take her out to Taco Bell. I didn't have the money, right? And so I asked her, I'm like, why are you dating me? And she said, you're a fixer-upper. It pissed me off at the time, but I didn't even break up with her then because I knew she was right. It wasn't until she bitched about my drinking. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're done. And the next day she's like, do you want to take back what you said? And I'm like, no. Okay. Anyway, I thought you might find that kind of funny, but it was true. I can laugh at it now. Can you discard the feeling that you are dealing with only a habit with stubbornness or a weak will? If this presents difficulty, rereading chapters 2 and 3, where the alcoholic sickness is discussed at length, might be worthwhile. You as a businessman want to know the necessities before considering a result. If you concede that your employee is ill, can be forgiven for what he has done in the past, can his past absurdities be forgotten? Can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the action of alcohol in his brain? Right. Might as well just read this next paragraph. I well remember the shock I received when a prominent doctor in Chicago told me of cases where the pressure of the spinal fluid actually ruptured the brain. No wonder an alcoholic is strangely irrational. Who wouldn't be with such a fevered brain? Normal drinkers are not so affected, nor can they understand the aberrations of the alcohol. So, yeah, I mean, now you got to drink a lot for that to really start to set in, and that's an alcoholic trait, all right? And what that does is, and it can reverse a little bit, but there's probably times here when I have mentioned that there are parts of my brain I can't access anymore. And it's frustrating sometimes. Usually has to do with time, when time is, and this and that. They're like, that's ADHD. I'm like, no, it's alcoholism, right? Um, you know, what they're talking about is what's called a wet brain. And a wet brain is dementia times 10. And what you will have is a person, it doesn't matter the age, what you'll have a person is in somebody's care, usually at a nursing home, a care facility, something like that, that will constantly break out to go find alcohol. It's their only aim in life. I've watched it happen. I watched my wife's uncle go through it. Yeah. Yeah. Then he died of a fentanyl overdose. Stuff's hard, man. You know, but at the same time, there's a lot of successes, and I loved her uncle. He was a great guy, man. Stubborn as fuck about his drinking, right? So, Ingrid, it's a quarter till. Do you have to go cook dinner? Just making sure. Yeah, yeah. Same after COVID. I couldn't remember what day it was, and I was the noon chairperson. Yeah, it happens. It's happened to me. So, it gets a little better, but quite often I have to ask my wife, "Hey, did that happen?" Because I'm not even sure in my own brain. Yeah, that's scary stuff. Okay, now why did that happen? Because I went back out for 10, 15 years and I did nothing but drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. All right. All right. So, having suffered from alcoholism, I should understand the illness, but sometimes I feel annoyance, even contempt. Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah, toward a person who cannot make it in AA. It's a heartbreaking riddle. Even to us. I mean, we get it, we understand, but that yearning, that I know what it means to yearn and ache that somebody would make it just because you want them to. There's no real reason. You like them around, and when they're around, your life is better, and yeah. Um, this time when I got sober, my sponsor, he had two of us, and we were both chronic relapsers. That didn't help. He didn't make it. He died when I was about 2 years sober, and he was yeah. That one hurt, man. That one hurt. Um, he was a great guy, and but thank God we get this patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. Yeah. There's a lot of people I've met in the program that I miss. Yeah. But I have a couple options there because I have a lot of great friends in my life right now. 3 of you are here at the meeting. May not always talk all the time, but we have a consistent contact. And to me, that's kind of a friendship. Okay. Everybody, most of the people on my Facebook are acquaintances. They shouldn't even call them friends. It should say, that's why Instagram's at least closer to followers. But then since it's followers, then everybody's a leader. And now see where something's wrong because it can't work that way. Anyway, when I feel that way, I am satisfying my false sense of superiority. Ouch. But it's true. Ouch. But it's true. And I must remember, but for the grace of God, there go I. Yeah, understanding the malady for non-drinkers is really going to depend upon their open-mindedness and what they're willing to hear. My mother-in-law she does not think I'm sober. She just like, she's like, oh, he's lying, he's sneaking behind your back. And Shannon would know. Every single person in my life would know if I was drinking, because I do not act this way, even with a little bit of alcohol in me. Nope, my whole demeanor changes. This would not be the Dion that you would get. And I'm proud to say none of you will ever meet him. I know him. Okay. Now, sometimes I got to pull some of that stuff out, but it's still got to be done the right way. But if we have an employer who is willing to work with somebody, then it's something that they understand. There was something that was in there and it said, well, if you don't understand, maybe you should go reread this. And I'm like, is it really their job to do that? Man. So if you have an employer that is willing to read the big book, you got a good employer, man. You got a good employer, because it takes more than money. It takes a servant's heart to read that and even try and understand it. It does. I mean, it's hard for us. And we even understand that it's not a weak will. It's not all these other things, or drinking something, but it's still sad. It's still sad. We got a chance at this, and I'm grateful that I got another chance. My thing, it wasn't that I didn't believe in God, or that I've been in the program before for 12 years, but my thing was, God gave me this great life, and I took a dump on it. Why would he want me back? Because I may just do that again. And that's still stubbornness. It's still pride. It's still ego. I knew there was no way I was going to make it on my own. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. I mean, even family members aren't willing to kind of read it and or go to Al-Anon or Alateen. And part of the problem is every single one of us has, and if you grew up in an alcoholic family, every person is sick to a certain extent, and it is a spiritual malady, and there will be an addiction there. The addiction may be, I hate alcohol, but that in and of itself is some kind of addiction. Maybe they throw themselves into work. It's what my oldest brother did. Didn't have any kids. No kids. Good thing. It's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, is it really for other people to have to understand what it is that we're going through? No. This world owes us nothing. We're going to have to go out and search and work for whatever it is that we have or want. No, we don't have to fight for it. Great thing is, once you get through this program and do this, you can walk around with confidence, with a new courage, because you walk under the grace of God. And that is something entirely different than the way that I was living. It's amazing. It really is. All right. I got a friend that needs to talk. Excuse me. And then the 5 o'clock meeting, I will make sure that I put that in the WhatsApp. But I'm also reminding Michelle, in case you'd like to make it, it's in an hour and 10 minutes. So just kind of remind everybody. So Ingrid, go make dinner. And Amber, go pick up your child. I know where everybody's at. And we will talk to everybody soon. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Peace out. And almost. One of the best things about my spouse finally going to meetings is understanding. After 8 years, he finally gets it and gives me space and time for my meeting and sponsees. Yeah. And why did that happen? Because you were a good example. Because you were a good example. Yeah. So good job. All right. Peace out and have a day.